you get to a certain point in your life and you can reflect, I think that's the power of just having you share your story. Just so many events, if they go wrong, like you said, that sanitation job, you had, again, stories I've never even heard before. You had to have surgery on your knee. If you don't get the job at that time, I don't know. I'm pretty sure because you said 87. So
Yeah.
so yeah, just the order of events.
I would have had to retire later.
Yeah, if
Much
things.
later. I retired in 2003.
Yeah.
And we moved down here.
Uh-huh.
But if had I not got that job and went to the end of the list, I could have been on that list another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So just the order of events, just how God just orchestrated so many things. Because like I said, at that time, my mother, she's a single mom. Who knows what would have happened? And I think even 2 years later, I had surgery. And now, like I said, I can look back.
Yes.
I believe I was on your insurance that helped pay for open heart surgery. So if you're not there, I don't know how that happened. And again,
they
just
found a hole in your heart.
yeah,
In your
left ventricle.
The left ventricle.
And
Yeah.
so, just you being there, having just that father presence, like even just looking back, just how you didn't have that example before you, but you were able to be that example to someone else, and and the whole point, and even though we didn't get too much into the book, but hopefully you're beginning to understand where it says, what's the purpose of family? And I answered the question by saying the purpose of family is someone who love, provides, and protects. And I don't think I've ever told you this story. I was in school one time, and someone was talking about just that relationship between God, the Father, and the Son, and they were only thinking of it in the biological sense. And because of how I grew up, I didn't have to think of it in a biological sense. I understood it in a relational sense where it's like you don't have to be blood relatives for someone to have that sort of relationship. And I understood clearly, what it meant to have a father, what it was to be there, and just to have someone there. Because like I said, the norm was single parent home. And so to have someone there, and like I said, I was 3 years old. You were all I knew. You were all I knew. So not having my biological father in the present is like that need was filled, and I can't imagine my life because, like I said, you get older, you have time to reflect.
Yeah.
I can imagine what my grandparents on my father's side are thinking, because I like telling this story. It's like I've got 2 uncles, and then my father, he's the middle. My 2 uncles, they married, they had things the right way, and then my parents weren't married, and so the thought is, man, he might turn out like his father. I might turn out like Greg, and it's like, that doesn't happen, and I think a huge part of that is because I had you there. And not only that, but looking back, if you're not there, we don't leave Brooklyn to come to North Carolina, because you have friends, the Vaughns, who moved from Brooklyn to North Carolina, convinced y'all to move from Brooklyn to North Carolina. Pivotal moment in my life, because if we're still in New York, I highly doubt, because I don't go to school in Virginia.
Nope.
If I don't go to school in Virginia, I don't go to Liberty. I don't get a bachelor's degree. I don't get a master's degree. I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't meet your wife.
I don't meet my wife. All these things that just happen, and like you said, you see the common denominator is God's sovereignty and what He's done, and just because even us, we went to church, but it was you just go to go. Just events transpired where I heard the gospel. Like my first year in school, came back, was telling y'all about it. We started going to a different church.
Which you found for us.
Which I found. Just more gospel centered, and just having that heart desire to communicate the gospel with a lot of my family, with a lot of my friends. Writing this book, and that doesn't happen if you're not there. And so you just see, like you said, like even though, again, cliche, God does have a plan. I think so oftentimes we think it's just some grandiose plan where there isn't any pain, there isn't any suffering. But there is a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But when you can look back and reflect and see how God had his hand on your life, and it's just like, man, I can't imagine what my life would be if you're not there, and just seeing your story, how you even got to where you were, how you met my mother, just all the events that transpired that leads up to this, where you guys can listen and hear what's going on. So I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity while you were here during the Christmas season, just so you can see a bigger picture, because what I'm trying to do is, this is real. Like, I heard the gospel, and I just want to share it with people. And we coming like over an hour, so I don't want to get too deep, but it's like, I come back and I hear the gospel, and it's like, I just want to tell people. I wrote a book, and you sharing it with people at your church, telling other people about it, and it's like, you play an instrumental role in that happening, because if you're not there, it's like, I have no clue how my life turns out. And it's like, it's even more compelling to see that you did not come out of that traditional family, that you did not have that example of a father, but yet you became a father, and just how God was able to maneuver all of that.